So I've always wondered, people that are like financially savvy, like I imagine you are, when they have a good amount of money and they have a financial advisor, do you like check in on your quarterly reports? Like, do you ask, hey, what percent return am I getting per year on what you're investing?
It's funny. I'm I'm pretty trusting. We've been working together for a long time, and we started working together. I think when he was early in his career too. And so when I say I have a financial advisor, I mean he's probably got 25 other clients. But for me, that's totally acceptable. In fact, I really love working with people over time because I can call anytime and say, "Look, this is concerning to me," and immediately, Michael replies to me, and we have a open dialogue. Uh, I I have been the one that's made the big mistakes over time. There's a giant pullback, and I'm like, "Take it out. Let's get out. Let's get out." And he's like, "Look, are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Yes." I lose every single time. I lose, so I just go like, "You're not as good at that, Jeremy. Let this other person who's better at that than you." The other thing that I have now is age and experience. And I'm not as afraid as I used to be. Okay. The stock market can be scary. Okay. It can pull back. It can pull back 30%. It can pull back 20%. But then you look all the way back 100 years and you've got a 7 and 8% return, annualized return. And it's much more comforting. And trust me, as long as we live in a society that does embrace capitalism, which there's been moments where I've been scared about that in recently, because there can be very good humanistic capitalism. It's not just all bad sharks running around biting each other. But as long as we embrace capitalism, companies will continue to grow at a very large, rapid rate, and the stock market and 401k are things not to be afraid of over time. But don't be like me and pull stuff out when you're scared. That's the reason why relying on somebody else, it's just way more important than what exactly the return that they're getting every year.
Do you think you've gotten a better return from buying collectibles than your financial advisor has gotten you from investing your money?
Yes, because that category was so much less explored. Okay, so collectibles as an asset have exploded in value in the last 25 years, but mostly because the stock market's been around. Like, people kind of know there's a system to it. Warren Buffett was early, and he kind of figured out the system, and of course he was like early, like collectibles are today. Uh, yeah. So yes, because it was an emerging market.
Then do you think that it would make sense for you, if you have like a competitive advantage, to increase your portfolio percentage from 5% up to 15, maybe 20%, if this is something that you're skilled in?
Yes, it would, but I never did. I never did. I guess I'd say early on, when I was younger, I probably had more of my percentage in a portfolio. But I feel like as a responsible adult who's trying to teach other people to make long-term good decisions, I kind of have to walk and talk similarly. I don't like to I don't like to say things that I don't believe, and I feel like there's a lot of that in this world. So yeah, no, that's about it. That's all I will do. I do believe I have insight, and I do believe. But remember, if I'm talking about emerging categories, you don't have to invest a lot in emerging categories. Those are the ones that are explosive growth. So, like, one of the thoughts that I constantly have is, when is it the right time to invest in a new category, a new brand? Okay. So I love brands that are like 15 to 20 years old, where the consumer group were younger.
Mhm.
So, like, Harry Potter's a great example of that. So when the book series was launched, 25 years ago, those kids were between 7 and 15 years old. Today, those kids are 32 to 40. When do you think they have access to capital to start investing? In the last 10 years. What do you think's happened to the value of the book? Blown up in terms of the rarity. So how do you extend that? Twilight, Hunger Games, all the other stuff that came 10 years later. I promise you, in my mind, those are the types of things that chase it. That's where the next set of values come from.